Is running smooth, I think. So, take a quick look at the market first, then we'll get into consensus. We'll look at the coins that are there in consensus that a lot of people are talking about, especially the coins that are sponsoring. They're the ones you want to look at. Some of the sponsors have paid over 6 figures to be able to get a prime position at consensus. So they don't do that unless they are expecting something big, unless they have something big to offer as well. So in general, the market, Bitcoin is, since the live stream last week, either Thursday or Friday, I done a live stream, we haven't moved all that much. I did say that day I wanted to see Bitcoin, do I have it here? Yeah, that day I wanted to see Bitcoin finish the day above the 8,600 level. It didn't. It did come down a bit further, and it has just been up and down since that. So you can see we came back up and tested. So this level is becoming a support resistance level. I want it to be a support, not a resistance. We do want to see it push back up through this. That is on the Bitcoin side of things. And I do think after consensus and even during consensus, we will see this push up, because one of the great things about consensus is, cheers Robert, one of the great things is it brings so much attention to the space. It's we'll get into it, and we'll get into what consensus is in a minute, but it does bring a lot of attention to the space, brings a lot of new investors as well. People take notice of it because it does get some mainstream coverage as well, because it is the biggest blockchain event. So if we look down through the market here, we see lots of different red with the altcoins here. We do see some big ones, Bitcoin 28, not bad. But in general, there's lots of a mix of red and green. But when you look at it, it's not much. 1 to 3%, 4%. In terms of cryptocurrency movement, that is not a lot at all. But the interesting thing is, I started going through the consensus coins this morning, and I started adding them to my watch list on CoinMarketCap. So these coins here are all coins that are sponsors in consensus. So some of these range from the top tier ones down to, I think it's, they have paid for 2 boots. But when you look through this, there's a lot less red when you look at coins like this. Yes, there's a few here, a few red, but in general, the expectation from these coins is big. So if we sort it here, this isn't sorting on how much sponsorship they've paid. Sonem is one of the bigger sponsors. They have paid over 6 figures as far as I know. So we are expecting some announcement from them. Hey Michael, so I have put in a bit of a position in Sonem this morning with a take profit in there as well. I won't say levels or anything like that, because look, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to share with you what I'm doing, give my opinions, and then everyone needs to make up their own mind what they want to do. Anything you take in cryptocurrency is a risk, especially what I'm doing with some of these coins. I'm taking some of the sponsors, I bought in a position, and I've set a take profit then of X%. Actually, it doesn't matter. For me, some of these I've set at a 25% gain. That's what I'm looking to achieve. It's small. If we get a spike, it can easily hit that percentage. But look, if these companies come out with news that is not accessible or not good for the marketplace or not perceived to be good, then they could easily tank as well. So it is risky, but to me, the risk is worth the reward to gain an extra 25% on my Bitcoin just for getting into these for a day or two. So you have Sonem, ARK are 2 of the bigger ones. You can 2 of the bigger sponsors. You can see here that their percentages the last 24 hours, people are banking on something good happening. VeChain is one. See, We Build Rust has asked there. VeChain is another one. It is on this list. Should be on this list. Oh yeah, there we go. So VeChain is basically the same for the last 24 hours. So again, VeChain is there. So we would expect some news from VeChain. What it's going to be, I don't honestly know. But for me, VeChain is more of a longer term hold. Unfortunately, I didn't get in the ICO like a lot of people. Some people have made some huge gains from being in the ICO. But for me, I'm holding VeChain long term. It's not one of the ones I'm looking to make a quick flip on at the minute. So in terms of news, if you come back in 2 days time, then maybe we'll have some good news on that. Then QTOM is another one of the bigger sponsors here at Consensus. You can see again, it hasn't moved all that much in the last 24 hours, but we will come back to this list. I'm saving this watch list and we're going to come back to it later in the week and do another live stream to take a look at the prices and see where we're going. Fusion is another one, and Polymath are two more that I'm expecting some movement on. Fusion is one that I kicked myself about that I didn't buy it at $2 when I kept watching expecting a pullback. But that's a good example of if you see a good coin and you think it's a good long-term coin, don't hold back waiting for the pullback, because in the long term it doesn't really matter. I should have got myself a small position and then set my buys further down. Like I did set my buys further down, but I should have took a small position at the current price as well. But that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes the coins take off without you. But the worst thing you can do is chase them. Wait and see what happens. If you're happy to buy in at the current market price, then go for it then. They're the coins. That's Bitcoin, Consensus. So what is Consensus first? Consensus is the biggest blockchain, not consortium, biggest blockchain. What word do they use? Summit. So the biggest blockchain technology summit. It's starting today. It's actually starting right now. There's a live stream. You can go on and watch live here. You can see some of the stuff that's going on. I'm not sure exactly which of the talks they're going to show, but I will be looking at it throughout the next few days anyway. So there's going to be talks from all different companies. You can go in, you can talk to some of these companies. It is not a cheap event to attend. The prices were up around $2,000 just for the normal everyday person or the normal crypto person to go in and get involved here. So they're not aiming at the small investors. These are looking at the big guys, which can bring big movement in the industry as well, because you never know what kind of connections are made at these. Like they say here that 4,000 attendees or 4,000 plus, but from everything I've been seeing lately, it's actually 7,000 plus now. Does it show it down here? This is the growth year after year. So Consortium back in 2015, there was only 400 up to, this now is outdated. It is supposedly around 7,000 now that are attending. That was 2017, people from all over the world. I would say even outside America, there will be bigger percentages from around the world traveling now because crypto is spreading. It's going further and further. If we look at the actual sponsors then, so it's not just directly cryptocurrency coins that are sponsoring here. So you have Deloitte, you have Block, you have Ledger, and Sonim, Octagon Strategy. These are the biggest, these are the title sponsors. So basically these are the guys that paid the most to be there, and then they have the biggest space there. So they're going to get the biggest airtime, they're going to get the biggest plugs. Then you have 4 block spaces, these guys here. So some big names here. Circle were in the news a lot there a while ago on their purchase of an exchange. Accenture, Arc is another coin that has a lot of potential going forward. eToro, copy trading platform. Fusion, IBM, Microsoft, IBM. It's great to see names like this getting involved in blockchain. So these companies are not likely to bring out their own coin or anything like that, but they are likely to bring partnerships or to develop their own blockchain, because the more companies that take up blockchain technology, the better. It's going to push awareness for the whole crypto space. Omnitude is one in the financial industry. They're actually still an ICO, so the ICO has been slow. They started at a bad time, to be honest. Just the market was in complete downtrend at the time, but it's going to be interesting to see if they bring some good news here at Consensus, that we could see big growth or a sellout fairly quickly in that. Qtum, Ripple, again, Ripple have a big space, VeChain. So again, you guys can go through this yourselves. Icon is another one that I'm watching to see. It's a more long-term hold for me anyway, but we could see a nice bump in it here. Lisk as well. The thing I wanted to show you was the space. Where are we gone? So this is on the Consensus site as well. You can go in, and what you can see here is how much space each company has. So this is how big their stand is that they are going to be sitting at. So Ripple, you can see here, has a huge area here. They will be really pumping it out. Ripple, to me, it's not one that I own. I do own a small amount of it from way back, but it's not one that I've got into because it does have a lot of ups and downs, but you cannot deny the growth in the currency. Steamer, NEM is another one I owned early last year, I think it was, and got rid of it. It's one that I need to get back and look at. When you see the size of the space they paid for here, It's going to be interesting to see how they got news coming. QTOM as well. You see they have a stand here and over here. What was the other ones? Sonim is here. I'm seeing Genesis. Mining is there as well. Dash is there with a smaller stand. Ledger. Arc is here as well with a good size stand. So these are the ones that will get noticed a lot more than the smaller little ones. There was another floor as well. This is a pretty cool feature here. You can go through all the different levels. So here's another one, Lisk and Nibelus. Another two coins that potentially could bring out something good. I'm not sure why they're on a different floor, but that's how it goes. The figures on consensus then. This is something that's interesting. This is something that's trending on Twitter, on Facebook. Everywhere I look, people are sharing this, saying, oh, what's the percentage going to be? As well as that, guys, if you're watching, this is my first video you've seen, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're getting any value at all, hit the like button and let me know what you think below of consensus. Is it going up or down? There's a lot of people talking about it's only going one way, it's only going up here. But then you have a lot of people thinking we're heading for 2k Bitcoin and 1k Bitcoin. I personally don't think we're going there. I think we're going up. I don't know if we're going to hit the huge figures in 17. So you can see in 15 to 16, Bitcoin went up during consensus by 10% in 16 and post consensus by 78%. And then the altcoins were very similar. But 2017 was really the year that altcoins became bigger. And you can see during consensus, Bitcoin went up 69% last year. I don't think we're going to see that kind of a growth this year during consensus. After it, I do think we will, but during it, I don't think so. If we did, it would be brilliant. Post consensus last year went up by 138%. So again, I think towards the end of the year, we could hit this kind of figure. I do think that's where my own thoughts lie with it. I do think we'll hit there. Right after consensus, I don't know. It depends how everything's picked up and how... Actually, we'll look at the market cap as well in a minute. That is going to be an interesting one to watch. You should keep an eye on that as it hopefully goes up over the next few weeks. You can see here the altcoins last year. So during consensus, altcoins in general went up by 176% during consensus and afterwards over 500%. So obviously there was big losers there as well. Every coin didn't magically go up by 500%, but there was a lot of big gainers there. And I do think there are certain altcoins that we will see some big gains for. There's going to be some coins at consensus this year that bring something incredible, that bring something really good, and they will skyrocket. Or even other coins outside of it, because it'll bring more attention to the space. You never know what kind of partnerships are going to be there. So that's something to keep an eye on as well this year. I do think that this year, it's not just individual companies and coins you need to watch. There are going to be partnerships this year. So we could see coins joining up. So you could have a blockchain coin creating their own blockchain, joining up and partnering with other coins as well that offer individual services. So that is where you could see big potential this year and big potential growth. So what these figures are going to be, I don't really know. I'm hoping that they're going to be good. I think by the end of the year, Bitcoin is definitely... I think we're definitely going to pass the 20k level in my own opinion. That is just my opinion. No guarantees, advice, anything like that. Everyone do your own research. But I think we will beat the last year's high of 19,000. I think we'll go over the 20 this year and even push into the high 20s. There's other people who have a lot higher expectations, and then there's people who think that we're going to go to zero and early. But that's where I lie on it. That's why I'm holding. That's why I rarely pull any funds out of Bitcoin. I generally, the only time I pull out of Bitcoin is to put into altcoins that I think are going to grow. So that's where we are on consensus. What do you guys think of it? Any questions on it? I would love to be attending it. Potentially next year. We'll see how things go. Maybe next year I will try and get out to it. I know there's going to be a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people all over that are going to be doing live streams. As I say as well, you can keep up to date with it here if you go into Consensus 2018. I'm not sure what this is going to do to my stream now if I'm streaming and uploading. But this is the live stream here that you can go in and keep an eye on what's going on. Yeah, We build Rust. Yeah, the growth on consensus the previous years has just been crazy. So the live stream hasn't started yet. It was meant to start at 12. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. It should start fairly soon, I would say. There are different rooms as well. You can go through all the different rooms. I won't go through them now, but these are the different presentations. And if you want to see the different rooms, you can come in here and see what's going on in them as well. You can see the different presentation rooms. I think on the second floor, no, not the second, fourth. Actually, their circle have a fairly big stand as well. Some of these floors have, yeah, so on the third floor is where you have a lot of the keynote speakers. Blockstream and Deloitte are there as well. Deloitte there with some workshops. So it's definitely an interesting place to be. There's going to be a lot of news coming out of it. I'm hoping for a lot of positive news. Again, I'm going to save this and we can come back to it later in the week. Let's refresh and see. So Sonem going up a bit, Arc going up a bit, Polymath. So there's big expectations on these. Agrello, to be honest, I don't know anything about it. It's one that I must look into though. I don't know. I presume it's not a pump and dump. I presume this is related to consensus. The figure to have a look at here is the market cap. So there's a lot of people saying about the 1 trillion market cap that's coming this year. I do think it is definitely possible. Consensus can get the ball rolling, but consensus alone will not be enough. Consensus is for people who are already involved in cryptocurrency. So it's the ideas need to spawn there, and then they need to go out and then start spreading it from there and bringing in new people into cryptocurrency. Start exposing more people to it. So earlier in the year we were up at 800. Not earlier this year, sorry, towards the end of last year when Bitcoin hit its all-time highs, we were up at a market cap of, what is it, it's 800 and something, it doesn't really matter, but up around the top, we were up at 800 billion. If we look at the last month to see where we're going, we had been coming up and then up and down, but generally it is going into an uptrend. That's where we want to be. In the last few days, we did get back above 400 billion again, and we've came down under it today. But again, I think we will start to see that rise. We'll start to see the market cap going up, and that is good for cryptocurrency in general. So that's really it, guys. I don't have anything else to talk about. If no one else has any questions, let me know down below. This video is going to render, this live stream will render when it's finished, and anyone can watch the replay from the start. Give the video a like, give it a share if you think it's worth anything to anyone else, and I will be back in the next few days with more live streams, more videos coming up on cryptocurrency as well, and I will talk to you guys soon. So thanks for watching, guys.